Springing the seat of my Model T, and stabbed me in the bum. Got caught jerking off while visiting my mom.
My goodness.
Family that done bit me, gave me rabies and lockjaw. I'm up shit creek.
I'm up shit creek.
Without a paddle.
Without a paddle.
I lost the war. But I won the battle. My treasure's lost.
Where'd it go?
My money's spent.
Someone took my money.
My baby's gone.
Yeah, so
She up and went. I'm on a one-legged horse without a saddle. I'm up shit creek without a paddle. My lady's pregnant, but the baby isn't mine. And pictures of my dad's new girl looking awful lot like mine. Knives didn't shake and stink, my clothes are torn. Spent 6 hours in a bread line, but all I got was mo. I'm up shit creek.
I'm up shit creek.
Without a paddle.
Without a paddle.
I lost the war. But I won the battle. My treasure's lost.
Where'd it go?
My money's spent.
Who the fuck took my money?
My baby's gone.
Yeah, so
She up and went. I'm on a one-legged horse without a saddle. I'm up shit creek without a paddle. I'm on a one-legged horse without a saddle. I'm up shit creek without a paddle.
living rooms, bedrooms, dinettes. Oh yeah, you can find them at the market. We talking about Flea Market, Montgomery. It's just like a mini mall. Oh yeah, come shop with us. I said Flea Market, Montgomery. It's just like a mini mall. Hey, hey, you heard me. Come shop. Living rooms, bedrooms, dinettes. We got it. You need it. You'll find it. It's just like a mini mall. Hey, hey, you heard me. Come shop. I said Flea Market, Montgomery. It's just like a mini mall. Hey, hey, living rooms, bedrooms, dinettes. Oh yeah, you can find them at the market. We talking about Flea Market, Montgomery. It's just like a mini mall. Hey, hey, don't stop. Let's make it a...
Can I just say, I still watch that cameo all the time. Thank you guys so much for that. It really cheers a bitch up. Let me tell you what. And he looked good, you know? He looked good. I can't believe it because that was going to be y'all's Christmas present. And you got me first. And I'm so, like, stunned. I was stone cold stunned. Thank you. Thank you again. Yes, you can see it again. I don't have it pulled up at the moment and the internet's really bad, so we might have to do it next time. It's been real bad today, like obviously because of the weather. So if it just goes out and I disappear, I do apologize. I blame God. All right. But we're going to get through this one. Also, I just noticed that is the whitest suit ever. He keeps it clean.
Dance. Come on now. To the left, to the right. Let's do this dance. Hey, to the left, to the right. Let's make this a dance. Flea market, Montgomery. It keeps you jumping. It's just like a mini mall. Check it out now, everybody. Like this now. Hey, hey, flea market, Montgomery. It's just like a mini mall. Don't stop. Let's dance. Flea market, Montgomery. It's just like a mini mall.
Let's bring it on down now. Oh yeah, I know you're gonna like this. Come on now.
It's just like,
You know what I'm saying.
it's just like,
You know what I mean.
it's just like,
You know it. So why don't you just come on and say it?
it's just like a mini mall.
Oh yeah, you said it. It's just like a mini mall. Oh yeah, you like this. Come on now, Flea market.
Hey, where are you from, ma'am? Where are you from?
Io sono from Italia. Viva Italia, per favore, via la lure, mezzo mare, mamma mia, da maritare. Ciacinca, buah. Figlia mia da fantasia, mamma mia, se faccio tu.
I can't understand her. I think she might.
Give me a fantasia. Dude, I love Lemon Dawn so much. That little thing. So one of you guys sent me, it was the little lemon dangling on something. I don't remember what, but it made me laugh so hard. How are you guys doing tonight? Is everybody dry? Are you free of flooding? It's been crazy down here. Thank you guys for checking in. I know it's crazy because the one time you would think it would flood in this house, it didn't. And thank Christ. Oh my God. Good. I didn't want it to, but it is really, really bad all around. North of us, south of us, east of us, west of us. It is crazy. And frankly, I'm very surprised because it was pouring down really hard yesterday and all night. If anything, maybe worse than when it did flood here. Something about that freedom drain is working great. It's working. It poured there 2 days ago, and you're in the desert, Laura. Damn, dude. Weather is crazy. And you know, I hate to do this. Just kidding. I love to do it. You know, I told you so. Everybody say it with me. I told you so. Didn't we all say it? I believe we all agreed that it was bullshit when they were doing funding cuts to everything, when they put Elon in charge. And what was it? How much did the new administration and Elon, how much did they take from the budget? What was it? 5.5 billion for to defund NOAA? $1 billion cut to the EPA grant program, 2.46 to the Clean and Safe Drinking Water Fund, and then it was 1.7 billion to cut the weather management programs, coastal zone management programs, coastal resources and planning, and the NOAA. And that includes 209 million to satellites and infrastructure, weakening critical weather monitoring capabilities, 1.3 billion cut to NOAA operations, research, and grants, terminating a variety of climate research, data, and grant programs. 15.25. Oh, I was way off. It's so much more. $15.25 billion in cuts and cancellation of the renewable energy funds, undermining significant investments for the transition of a clean energy economy. $1.16 billion cut to NASA Earth Science, which, by the way, tracks all of the ongoing hurricanes, and $3.48 billion to the National Science Foundation for research in climate. So that's pretty crazy that they cut all that funding and got rid of all those programs. And yeah, and then they dumped a shitload of funding from FEMA. So yeah, they did all that. So they cut off the satellites that predict everything. And then they defunded a shitload of weather programs. They fired half the weather staff in almost every single major commercial market. And they said, hey, we don't need to worry about this shit. Disaster relief, cut the funding of social services. And then they said, hey, you know what? Give all the money to ICE. So they did that. And now, interestingly enough, the satellites that had no funding turned the fuck off. They said, float them back this way. We don't need them. And then guess what happened? Immediately a hurricane hit. It hit the coast of Florida. And then shit only got worse from there, didn't it? And they started the cutting of the funding a lot earlier than they even told us. Which is why, what was it, North Carolina went underwater? That was cool. No heads up on that. And then we started flooding in my home, and I went, well, this is weird. Because they said it was going to be rain, but they didn't say flooding until after it flooded. It's kind of weird. And now there's over 40 people dead, over half of them kids. And after that, they said, don't worry, it's going to subside. And then guess what? 15 more feet it rose within 4 hours of that. And all the weathermen threw their papers up in the air and said, well, goddamn, if we only had funding for the satellite that used to tell us when this thing would happen, it would be very nice. We could have warned them. Typically, they could have given them up to 48 to 72 hours warning. But the problem is when you cut off the funding for the satellites that tell you that kind of fucking shit, people die. So the blood is on the hands of our governor who supported that shit. Our governor who cut disaster relief. Our senator, Ted, who likes to get the fuck out of town every time there's a disaster. And most importantly, the president. So this is their fault. Those kids are dead. And the rest are missing. Because they said, fuck it. Who needs to know when a disaster is coming? Fuck the weathermen. That's what they said. Yep. The NASA satellite and the NOAA. We just read through the list, Melissa. It's pretty crazy. And a bunch of people said, don't worry, that funding's not going to hit till next year. The lack of funding. Oh, tell that to the people who got fired. Tell that to the angry weathermen. And you know what our governor did? Had a conference today and blamed the weathermen. Isn't that crazy how that works? Fire half of them, take the funding, put it in charge of the South African guy who's not even from here. Put him in charge of everything. Put him in charge of your social security numbers. Put him in charge of your Medicare, your Medicaid. Put him in charge of your taxes. Put him in charge of all that. You think the weather's bad now? Wait until you have no fucking money to live on for the rest of your life. It pisses me off so fucking bad. And the very people who voted for this shit are the ones suffering, and they're not fucking saying shit about it. Funny how that works. How long do people bite their tongues before someone says something? It's fucking wild. And I really hate it when people say, oh, you can't blame them for natural disaster. Yes, I can. Hey, you guys remember a thing called Hurricane Katrina? You know whose fault that was? The government. Don't tell them. And it was racist. That shit was fucked up. It's been happening for a long time and it's getting worse and no one's doing anything about it. So, yeah, sociopaths do have no empathy. They do sleep like babies. Thankfully, some of them are turning around and going, well, goddamn, now I'm not voting for you. But, it's not like they didn't promise this. Ugh. Yeah, they defunded the NOAA. They defunded it. I mean, you heard that. I thought it was just a couple of billion. Nope, it was over 116 billion, right? 200 billion. That's insane. Yeah, the poor people are always going to get fucked over. This is America, dude. If only someone would have told us DJT would do any of these things. Oh, wait. Yeah. He told us. He fucking warned us. Project 2025. That's what it is. It's fucking crazy, dude. And it's affecting their voter base now. And it's sad. It's so sad that little kids are suffering. They don't get to vote. You know what I mean? They don't get to. They had no idea. It sucks. It's so fucking sad. Ugh. Nobody even cares about the shrimp tits, do they, Sherlock? Sherlock sent me new shrimp news today. I have a feeling this is going to affect shrimp news as well. Because of the waters the shrimp live in. It is only going to get worse. Hurricane season is barely off the ground. Yeah, and we're in tornadoes. Like, everything's getting worse. This is wild. We are literally a concrete jungle of wet dream tomatoes. Let's let it play. Let's hear what Hawkatua Girl has to say about the weather.
Concrete jungle, wet dream tomato. You know, about New York. I like old rap, though. I don't listen to much new rap.
What's old to you, old rap? To me, it's
Let's see.
Jay-Z and Tupac. No? You've heard of Jay-Z.
Yeah, and Tupac. I've heard of both of them. I just
Oh.
don't listen to them like that.
And you got the script that I wrote? Grab the script.
I've been meaning to speak to you about this. I can't read these words. They're not in the right order.
It's good.
I think you might be dyslexic, bro. I'm not reading this. I'm gonna.
No, please,
I
read
think
it.
you might be dyslexic.
Just read the script once.
Okay, you want me to read the script?
Yes.
All right.
And action.
I'll read the words you wrote. Hello, fellow American. This you should vote. Me. I leave power. Good. Thank you. Thank you. If you vote me, I'm hot. What? Taxes. They'll be lower. Son. The Democratic vote for me is right thing to do, Philadelphia. So do. This doesn't make any sense.
All right. Well, then just say whatever you want.
Nine-year-old Tokyo pimp Brian Albert Jr. is back with an all-new hotspot that answers the question.
Well?
This place, the Waterfall Bar Grill, has everything. Geeks, Sherpas, a Jamaican nurse wearing a shower cap.
Bukkake. PB and jelly sandwiches.
Sneezing.
Energy forces.
A Russian man on a prepaid cell phone. Guys with afros. And look over there in the corner. Is that Mick Jagger? An albino that looks like Susan Powder. Germs. Germs? German Smurfs. Of course. And just when you think the fun is over, knock, knock, who's there? It's Black George Washington. And anyone can get in. There's no password. At the door, just do the Cosby face.
The Cosby face?
Yeah, If you want fun, then listen to this. Nightlife designer Tranny Griffith is back with an all-new club that answers the question.
This is funny, Ms. Reed?
And inside it's just sick. Ice sculptures, winos, you'll see twinks, gypsies, puppets in disguise, a Teddy Ruxpin wearing mascara, human squatty potties. It's that thing of when you sit on the toilet. Giant.
And that reminds me, I have more to complain about. So guess what's the first thing I see when I turn on the fucking news today to see what's going on with the flooding? Take a wild guess whose fucking mug I see. Guess who I see? Damn right. Jen Coffin Stuffer crying about how her fucking friend who she worked with in the bureau in Houston, how his beautiful lake house that they used to go to for holiday swept down the fucking river. God damn, she's everywhere. If she wasn't so heinous, it would be impressive. It's still impressive. How is she, how do you grift on so many fucking, dude, she lives in Florida, but she used to live in Texas. She owns property here. She's a landlord, I believe, here. She's got her fingers in every cookie jar. It's so terrifying. Stevie, cover your ears. Jen Coffend Offer is everywhere. She's everywhere. She's everywhere. She is Keith and the twins. Do you understand? Nancy will be there too, but Jen will surely be there as sure as Nancy's going to mention Keith and the twins. If Nancy's not there, but zooming in, Jen's going to be there, i.e. Keith and the twins are going to be there. She is Keith and the twins. Cock and Slobber is everywhere. It's impressive and oppressive and aggressive. And I could use less of it. If I'm being honest, I could use less of it. If it were up to me, I would have my Nagel in the morning. And I would go, oh, a whole cup of Jen Coffend Offer? Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. I had a rough night. I don't usually drink Coffend Offer in the morning. Let me have less of that, actually. You know what? Actually, I'm a cat now. Whoop, and I push it off the table and I watch it shatter below me. If she comes at me in a poncho, I'm kicking. I'm squirming. Thank you, Noelle. I'm glad you're laughing. Like, buy Coffend Offer. R.I.P. Keith. Dude, buy Coffend Offer. I don't need you. You know what? If I could get a pizza with no Coffend Offer on it, that would be nice. You know, it'd be great. You know, it'd be cool if I could watch one fucking YouTube video without Coffend Offer popping up to give me an offer of some bullshit I didn't want to hear. She doesn't even offer it. It's non-consensual Coffend Offer. She pops up and she goes, want to hear some shit that's going to make you mad? This is how I feel. Oh my God. She was tier 3 coffee getter at the FBI. Dude, 100%. She was tier 3. Hey, go meet the water guy and sign off. Make sure that they fill up the cooler. No, you can't stand by it. No, you can't stand by it. I don't need to see her in everything. She had to be in this one, Laura. We're making fun of her. But I don't need to actually see her all the time in everything. I'm terrified sometimes to show you guys news stories because I don't know if she's going to be there. And I'll go through it and I'll watch it. I'll screen it and I'll go, okay, there's no Coffend Offer. And then I play it and somehow she has slipped in. I swear to Christ. Somehow it's like, how did I overlook that? Did I dissociate? Do I actively dissociate when she pops up? Do I repress her into my brain, create an entire new personality named Amber, who's 8, and start talking to you about my crayons because I can't handle the fact that I just saw a Coffend Offer? How many do I have? How many children live inside my personality because I have constantly dissociated and repressed and had to? I am MPD because of her. What you're watching right now is a hostage situation because I have multiple personalities inside of me that I can't control. I feel like a hostage because of her. I am at mental capacity. This is a false memory situation. I thought I saw a Coffend Offer, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. If you were to told me, see, I'm already mentally slipping. Where did she come from? Why does anyone care about her? I don't know. She's from parts unknown, like Kane, like The Undertaker. She came from the depths of hell. She has pushed herself into every scenario. Sometimes, of course, she's commenting on the Morphew case. She's going to comment on everything. On everything. She'll be there. Don't turn around. She's right behind you. I don't know where she came from. It's like Earth. People debate about it. Scholars say, did a fucking idiot crash into a goddamn dumbass? And somehow a big bang occurred and out came Sloppin Knocker? Was she birthed from the womb of a demon in some sort of deep dungeon Catholic Church Illuminati sacrificial ceremony? Did dew collect on the asshole of a fucking rabid elephant, slide down its leg, bury itself into the desert, and then somehow produce a tree that then grew into the dumbest fucking tree imaginable and then butted out this complete idiot who then somehow grew legs and arms and eyes and started talking to us and telling us about how many years She's been here tracking down bad guys. How do we stop her? How do we stop this Doffer? How do we... Carrie B does throw haymakers. She does. She throws haymakers. Carrie B will get you in this thing called a crossface chicken wing and not let you out. Do you understand? It's called a coquina clutch. Get over it. It's Carrie's. It's her finisher. Coffend Offer needs to be stoppin' offered. Like, how do we stop and offer her? Sometimes when she's on, I just try to shove my whole fist in my mouth. Like I sit there, I see how many fingers can I get? Because I can't possibly... A cloaca clutch? I like that. Write that down. We're doing that. We're figuring that one out. How do we get her? Is there a spray? How do we get her to go away? Can we spritz her with something? Stop and drop her? Maybe. Maybe we can do that. Merch. Should we up and toss her? What do we do? It's like sometimes there's the bad kid that bullies all the other kids, and even though you're an adult, you really want to trip them. I want to trip her. I know she's ex-FBI. I don't believe they should have hired her, and I feel like she deserves to be tripped when she runs. I believe that she is some sort of robot sent from China to hurt us. I don't understand why she's always there. Why is she always there? Why? What did we do? What did Texas do? Is this why Texas and Florida are the scariest places? Is it because she has taken root here? She's like a staph infection. If she gets near you, it's going to spread. And it's never going to go away. How do we get her out of our algorithm? How do we get a warning? You know what? I'll take 1,000 Cuomo jump scares. How do we get a warning? Can we do a trigger warning for Poncho Queen? We need to figure out a method. I'll take 10 Nancy Graces if you just let me swap back one coffin. Let me do one swap and offer, please. She lives in Florida. She has roots in Texas. She likes to make Texas about her when we have problems. Yeah, she was in Texas first. She was there with her first husband and her second. No, just her first. And then she moved to Florida, but she's still, I think, a landlord for people here. She has quite a few lawsuits and court issues with past tenants. So she seems like a nice lady. Order yard gnomes for her. I love you so much. I won't, but fuck, that's a good idea. I won't. Do you understand? I won't, and I didn't. But also, I digress.
300-pound baby, and he spins records with his little ravioli hands. Based on the novel Push by Sapphire. If that's not enough for you, you can hit the dance floor with a human fanny pack. Inspired by true events. If you're well-to-do and you just gotta hunt humans. No. If you're looking to just get murdered. If you're drunk and handsome, doing cheap coke off your laundry card. If you're Irish or just white and violent, I know just the place for you. Built in the upside-down world, the Spy Curious Beach Party is the creation of Brian Albert Jr. This place has everything. Charts, graphs, PowerPoint. A guy who still thinks Jamba Juice is good for you. You want culture, and you want it now. I've got the place for you. This hate speech haven is a creation of decorated dudes. Located in
back out front, but in front of Asian House.
As you walk in, you'll be handed a glass of champagne. Or is it piss? This place is going to have everything. Ghosts, ghouls, goblins.
Little grab ass.
My son. A woman with nowhere to turn. a wise old turtle, and you'll have your own When Harry Met Sally moment when you share a special kiss with Gizblo, the coked up gremlin. They've got a special display of Jewish fireworks.
What are Jewish fireworks?
For the kids, there's a special workshop where you can build a bear, but not the kind you think.
It's like a bear hug or something.
So come by this weekend and check out a VIP section filled with turtlenecks.
Oh, sorry. Do you mean turtlenecks?
No. Turtlenecks, it's a thing when like fat guys have a beard, but only on their chin roll.
But, Stefan, for people who want culture, like regular culture, like theater, where can they go?
For that, try blindfolded theater group Shakespeare in the Dark. This year, they're performing the Scottish play.
Macbeth?
No, Jackbeth.
Okay.
And don't worry about security, because it's guarded by an army of hobo cops.
I want to shift gears for a second, Sergeant Buchanan, and ask you about some of the evidence in the case.
That was legitness.
Oh, hey Marcus, what are you doing on the shores of Normandy? Hey man, this place is really fucked up. There's a whole ass war going on over here. The fish people are fighting to defend these lands here. I don't think we should be here, Marcus.
I'm looking for my anal lump medication.
Anal lump medication? Brother, we're in the middle of a war zone. There's a zombie right there.
Where?
Literally right there in front of us. There's a zombie just eating that guy. Like, we could see it. Yeah, Marcus, that's a... I don't think that's going to work.
Bad boy.
He apologized.
My turn.
No, Marcus,
Schwacko, just because my entire state is underwater does not mean you can go around calling me a fish fucker. That goes for you too, Tombstones. I don't appreciate. How dare you? You're both grounded. And yes, War Marcus does soothe the soul.
That guy. Oh, God. How is that guy still alive?
My bad.
Okay. How should we get out of here? How should we get out of here, Marcus?
The Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, I'll follow your lead, Marcus. Should we really be walking? Like, I don't really think this is the time to aura farm. Holy shit, dude, we almost got shot.
I think you're overreacting.
Yeah, no, I'm totally overreacting right now. There's dead people all around us. Come on, Long John Silver, let's go. Oh, God, it's a tank in front of us, Marcus. It's a tank. Holy shit. Yeah.
Have you had a nice weekend?
Is this really the right time to talk about this? It was a nice weekend, though.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. I tried a new country fried chicken place. It's pretty good.
Have you tried the Costco rotisserie chicken?
Yes, we've talked.
Costco rotisserie chicken was never on my bucket list until I saw this. Right now he's storming the beaches of Normandy. So I don't know where he lives, but it is unsafe. He probably lives here, to be honest. He's probably here.
About this, it makes you sick, Marcus. I don't think you should be eating that stuff anymore. I personally like. What are you doing? I personally like the HEB barbecue style rotisserie chicken. I think that's the shore, Marcus. I think we made it to the shore. Yeah.
The fish.
The fish.
The fish.
It's time to free the fish. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have one final emotional speech.
You're a fish fucker.
I'm not a fish fucker.
Fish.
Okay. First of all, there's
Of course, Kerrville is where we've been centering a lot of our attention.
Okay. So now we're going to get on to the Gabba Ghoul because we are here to talk about weather a little bit. You guys have all seen the news though, where here's one thing I'm not going to do because I don't want to cry on camera. I'm not going to, and I know some people might be pissed about this. There's not a lot of Texas people watching this right now. I'm sure. I'm positive I can see the analytics. But the ones who are, if there is anything you'd like me to play, you can send it to me in my email or tell me in the chat. Especially if you have someone missing, send it to me. But as of now, whenever I watch the news stories with the little kids in them, I start crying immediately. So we're not going to do that today. There are quite a few of those alerts going out to the people in the area. We tend to have a lot of California, Boston, New York, and Australian viewers. And that's a choice I'm making because, again, I don't want to sit here and weep. And at the same time, I do know that if you go on X, I've been posting a lot of resources. And I do know that the thing that's probably more useful, instead of showing you news reports you've already likely seen, and stuff that's going to make everyone weep, is I would like to just give you information if you are in the Texas area. For where you can go. So I'm going to post that on Banner, but I'm going to let you know right now, disaster.texas.gov and Kerrville City's Facebook page are where you're going to want to go if you need any information on if you're missing someone, if you need to see a list, if you need to know where to meet up with people. And I'm going to go ahead and put that right here. I've seen quite a few people sharing the house floating down the river with little kids screaming in it. And it's extremely upsetting. And it serves no purpose other than to cause fear. And I'm not going to be showing that. It was on Twitter. I was kind of in shock when I first saw it. I did retweet it because at the time I thought those kids were missing. They did find those kids. The other ones, they are missing. And that's Camp Mystic. But you can go there to disaster.texas.gov, or you can go to the Kerrville Facebook page, which I'm going to post a link to also. But yeah, it was pretty bad. If you don't know what happened, essentially, okay, so normally, when there is a flood here, and historically, the worst I remember was 98. Before that, there was one in 87. Those literally caused animals in fields to float. I saw buffalo heads sticking out of the water, and they're going, "Arr!" And I just watched them float by. We were on high land at the time. We were very lucky. But quite a few people lost their houses. Now, this is something like 7 or 8 times worse than that. Like, it is bad. And it is in areas like in the hill country, mainly Fredericksburg, Kerrville, Hunt, Bernie. I believe as far as Bandera, even all along the Guadalupe River, Seguin, San Marcos, everything is just flooded. Yeah, it's a lot of little girls. Well, it's because it's a Christian camp, and on some of the Christian camps, they separate the girls and the boys for sleeping arrangement purposes. And there's a boys camp and there's a girls camp. And the girls camp is a little bit further down, and then the boys camp is further up. So I believe the boys camp had a little more time to get their shit together and try to get out, but they really kind of didn't because nobody saw this coming. And yeah, it's called Camp Mystic. So I used to go to church camps down there called Alto Frio and Super Summer and stuff. And it's literally a small church will sponsor you, or, you know, kids will pay, their parents will pay to go. And all these different churches get together, and it's usually like, there's a Southern Baptist church camp there. There is an evangelical Christian one there. There's a Pentecostal one. There's even Mormon church camps. But all the church camps are pretty much all in the same area down there. They're all along the Frio and the Rio Grande and going out towards Bandera. We went to one year that was out towards Uvalde, where that shooting happened, where Matthew McConaughey grew up. That whole area. So these camps, they're normally like, it's fun. There's no issues. You sleep in a cabin. There's a small river. It's usually the water's too low to go swimming in. And I remember when I went, I mean, it was the early 90s, but I remember like you could just go down there on your free time. It's almost like jail, how you have Gen Pop and just nothing to do for at least 6 hours of the day. You usually have some hours in the day where everybody just goes down and you swim in the creek, and it is a fucking blast. It is so great, and the water is so cold and it's clean. It's like Alaska clean water. It's beautiful. Then you have other parts like Cibolo Creek and other areas where it's that brown water like you see. But people still, you just go swimming in it because that's what you're used to. Yes, there are moccasins, there are water moccasins, there are water snakes, there are no gators. Sometimes there will be a gator, but not usually at all. It's like on the news when there is. There's no sharks or anything like that. It's just big ass river fish. There's not big enough catfish to Okie noodle. There's nothing like that. You can go to Calaveras Lake, which has like a literal underwater town. That's pretty crazy to see. It's all caverns and stuff under there, but it's fun. It's fun. It's usually boiling fucking hot. Yeah, I went to the Southern Baptist Church camp too and came home saved. I was like, I got saved, but I had to get to play on the rock wall. So, it's just what you do. And then my parents were like, what? You're Catholic? How? And then it's like, I don't know. They fucking told me I had to. There weren't always brain-eating amoebas, and I didn't know anyone who died from that. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. And I remember, there were massive food fights. It was fun. Like, you would go to Tabernacle, and there would be like, I remember a lady named Jamie Smith who would play like rock songs. Bands like Wannabe Audio, Adrenaline, The W's, like all these cool fucking bands would come, and they'd make you sing songs about Jesus and the devil, but it was all fun. It was like do ba 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 ba. It was like fucking punk rock. It was cool. And then you go home fully indoctrinated, and then a few weeks later, you're just back to your old self, just being weird and doing squirms. So that's summer camp. Now, in this case, this is like a super Christian church camp where they literally separate. Like at mine, you could go to like the boys and the girls, you just had your own different cabins, but they weren't separated. And this one, it's all separated. And the girls were kind of screwed. They were in like this part where I guess the water came in really hard and high, and it was not, I believe they were more ground level. There's some cabins and stuff that are on stilts that survived and had no issues. And there were others that got swept away, and it was wild. There was a video. It's just a bunch of kids and camp counselors. They have their flashlights on, and you just literally see a house just floating down the river, and they're all screaming in it. They were able to get out. But there were others that didn't, and they don't know where they are. I think the craziest news story that I saw it yesterday, and I should have, I don't know that I actually put it in here. Let me see if I can find it again. It was actually really crazy. It's this lady who got swept away in the water, and then she went 14 miles downstream and got swept away at 4 a.m. and then was found the next day, yesterday, I believe, clinging to a tree. And this guy saw her. Hold on. It was just, I was like, what, dude? Like, here it is. And I really like the guy who they interviewed for it. And you've definitely seen this lady from the news quite a bit. Here, I'll play it for you. And this is so wild. Here, let me this is probably the craziest story that I've seen in all of it, aside from the fact that there's a lot of missing people and stuff. And then the drone footage of the water is insane. But this story, I don't know what to think. Like, this is insane. Like, and it made me think, if this woman in, 4 hours or something went 14 miles and the kids were missing around the same time and hadn't been found yet, they could be 30, 40 miles down the river. I've seen that they are expanding the search really far. So I hope that they find them soon. And believe it or not, there was a camp counselor, or the guy who like ran the camp. He was missing with a couple of kids that he tried to save. They popped up like 8 hours later, and they'd been floating in a car and they were fine. So let's just hope that happens. There are people that they were finding overnight and in the morning that they thought were dead, and that popped up and they were, found way far away. But let's just hope that happens, and that there's not more people dead. That's awful. I don't want that. That's very bad. But watch this. This is a really crazy story.
Yes, I promised you the video earlier. We have processed it. The reason that we couldn't run it right away is that we wanted to protect the privacy of this young woman. And if there's any hope in this story, it's that this 22-year-old woman went into the water in the Ingram, Texas area, which is about 20 miles upstream. So
let me correct it. 20 miles upstream. She said 14 yesterday, but 20, I guess.
All those parents who are waiting for word, there's one miracle story that a woman who was swept away up there ended up here. Let's get right to that video so you can see what happened at around 8 o'clock this morning after the girl was swept all the way from Ingram all the way to Center Point, Texas.
So just to be clear, this woman, her and her family, a little backstory. It was her and I believe 4 or 5 family members. There's all these people camping in RVs and cabins along this way. And at 4 or 5 in the morning, I believe it might have been 3 to 5 in the morning. All of a sudden, the water rises rapidly, like 15 feet, and then higher and higher and higher. And the reason is because they said it was something like 17 Niagara Falls. It was an insane amount of water. Like, they were explaining it in a way where it was like 1 point something million Olympic sized pools worth of water just came crashing through due to the floods. And when that happened, they got picked up. All these people got picked up. Her and her family got picked up in the water. The family got away from her, and it was just her. She floated all the way down under a bridge. This is night. It is pitch black. She hit her head at one point. She had a cut on the back of her head. She got all bruised and dinged up, smashing into shit. Shit flying past her, houses flying past her, cars going past her. And she's in the water, and she floats down and down and down. She gets cities away, like 14 to 20 miles away. She goes under an overpass of, I believe it was I-35 or I-10. Cars are going over her. She's waving at them, trying to get help. No one sees her. She floats past that. The water's super high. She hits this tree. Where she is sitting at the top of the tree is how high the water was. When she hits the tree, she grabs onto it. She doesn't let go. Within an hour or two, the water goes down. I think they said 12 to 16 feet, and she is sitting on that branch. I believe she was naked. Something. They blurred her. So then she's screaming for help, and a guy comes out on his deck. He's in a house, and I hope they show the house. It is remarkably high. It's like 15 to 20 feet stilts. He comes out on his deck with his morning coffee. He looks out, and there's a chick clinging to a branch going, "Help!" And then he goes, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he tells her, he's like, "We're going to help you. We're going to help you." So then, he goes and he's like, I need to make sure I do this right and everything's safe. So he goes and he gets the cops, the rescue people, which are down the road. They all come back. They rescue her. I believe they life flighted her out of there. Just completely crazy. And I don't know that her family made it. But imagine you cling to a tree. I believe, see the top of it where that branch is ripped off? I believe they said she was even higher. I believe she was up there and then she tried to climb down or something. That is so terrifying. She's in the hospital. She's going to be okay. But this is a crazy story. Keep in mind, for like 2 hours of floating down the water, it is pitch black outside. Holy shit.
Homeowner here says he went out on his deck and he heard somebody screaming for help. And when he came out on his deck, he had to look way across the river. And when he did, he looked into the trees and he saw this woman being sheltered by a huge cypress tree. One limb had already been ripped off and another was about to be ripped off, but she had been in the tree for several hours at that point already because she was swept out of her campground, out of her tent at 4:00 in the morning. And so he heard her screaming. He came out here. He started calling back to her. He said, I hear you. I see you. He called for help. He didn't have any luck getting response from 911. So he actually went down the street, flagged down a law enforcement person, said, hey, there's a girl in a tree over here. They sent boats. They sent a couple of boats. They had to figure out a way to get the boats down to river level. And of course, the river was still high at that.
Wait. I forgot. I believe I think she jumped down. She had to do a Jeff Hardy into the. I believe that's what happened. And then I think they live flighted her out of there. So this bitch was in the water, jumping into a boat, clinging to a tree, and then I believe taking a flight. Like, imagine you're asleep and then that happens. I don't think she was sleeping naked, dude. I think her clothes got fucked up. Like, this shit was brutal. Like, all the debris and crazy shit and like boats and houses and vehicles are just whooshing past you. And later on, they did another one, which I would have to go through and find. But do you see how high the water is at those trees? This is like 8 to 12 feet too high. And I believe it's another like 16 feet that the water, like it was up to the top of this deck. It doesn't look that high from here, but trust me, it is so insanely high. I think you'll see it in another newscast that I put it in here.
Point, they got to her and she had to drop into the boat because by the time the boat got here, the water had receded 10 or 12 feet. They say she jumped from that tree and face planted into that rescue boat, and they were able to bring her back to shore. Now, the tragedy here is that this young lady was swept away with family members. When she left here, she didn't know the fate of her family members, her mom, her dad, and other relatives that were swept away. They tried to get away in a car and they were swept away from far upstream in Ingram, Texas. So the homeowner here says that after they got this girl.
Also, do you see how fast the water is going right now? Do you see? Oh yeah, no, the girl, I think she busted her nose. Like, it was bad. But like, do you see how fast this water is going? They said on another news station that it was 3 to 4 times faster. Like, it was going faster than fucking traffic. Like, just. And it was roaring. It looked like there were fucking waves. Why couldn't my ex-husband? Dude. Yeah, it is sad that they're missing, and I'm sorry that your ex wasn't taken. It's more than 22, I think now. They said that they had found some, but then it was just different camp kids. So some of them are, and some of them have passed away, and they've been announcing them on the news, and it's just heartbreaking. I know the little girl from Dallas passed away, quite a few of them. They showed like 5 this afternoon. But also they don't know how many are missing yet. That's another big deal, is they don't know how many are missing yet. Earlier today, they said over 100. And then I've seen reports of 40 something and then over 100 again, but not just kids, like everyone. So there's over 100 people gone. Confirmed kids that are missing, I believe, between 23 and 27 from that camp. But also, it's actually like 3 camps, I believe, all going up the river. But that one is the one where it was a whole bunch of them together. Now, we are hoping that they find them. So last night, it was interesting because they did find, it was something like 12 or 13 kids just walked up to these people at this gas station, and they're like, "Hi, we were floating down the river for hours. Help." And then they called it in, and then the school bus came and took them back to Ingram High School. And when they took them back there, it was to get medically assessed, get their names, and see what was up with them. And so we thought we'd see the amount drop, and it didn't. Those other kids were still missing. So those were different kids. And then there was one boys camp counselor, or the guy who ran the camp, I believe, and there were like 5 campers that he tried to save, and they were missing all night and all day. And then they ended up popping up, and he's alive and they're alive, and they found a car to float in. So that happened. So the numbers going up and down and up and down. So it's just wild. I can't believe she was in a tree that long. Holy shit. Look how high
out of the boat. They
see how fast the water
brought her up
going?
here into the house.
Like, that water is roaring, dude. And it was so much worse hours before. She probably smacked into that tree pretty hard too. I hope she's okay, poor kid.
House. The firefighters, the paramedics checked her vitals. She had a few bumps and bruises, and they said that was amazing because she had gone over 4 dams and been dropped. She told them the story of fighting refrigerators, dodging recreational vehicles as she traveled down that long 20-mile stretch of being wiped away. So when she got here, she was checked up by the paramedics. She had a few bumps and bruises, few scrapes, but the medics had to go on. The rescue personnel had to go on. So they left her here in this home with the lovely neighbors who heard her call for help and responded. And these kinds of hero stories are being reported and being repeated throughout the whole country. And if there's any hope at all that somebody could still be out there in the floodwater as the waters continue to recede and as property owners begin to check their property, that's the hope of it all, that the missing people are out there somewhere and that somebody will hear their cry for help and that some of these people who are missing will still be recovered. We are live for the moment in Center Point, Texas, on the Guadalupe River, right across from Lions Park. It's an area lots of people have picnicked and camped. It's a free place to enjoy the Guadalupe River. So lots of people know exactly where this spot is. So we will continue to follow this story and track the river as we head back towards San Antonio this evening. Live in Center Point, Sue Kalberg, KENS 5.
Good old Sue. She's been around since I was a kid. Dude.
Please.
I love Sue. All right. So, and I believe they did find the family we just saw. I believe they found their loved ones. This is really, really just, again, unprecedented, very crazy. Here you can see the house that the girl was. Remember I told you how high that house was, and I'm like, you don't understand how fucking high up the water was. Now you're about to. This is the very house. They revisited a few hours later, which would have been a few hours ago, to talk about this very story and update us on that girl. I trust Sue too. You know what's crazy? We looked at some old 90s San Antonio footage when we were talking about Vanessa Delgado and I'm sorry, Jennifer Delgado. And when we were looking at that, she was in that. I was like 5 and she was doing the news. Sue will always be around and we love her. Okay. So yeah, shifting blame is what they do. They had a whole fucking press conference to blame the weathermen who they gutted funding for and caused to be fired. And they were specifically told They meaning our governor and the president. That's a bad idea. We need the NASA satellite specifically is what tells us about the hurricanes. Don't do that. And if you missed the beginning of this episode, you can go back and you will see as I read through all of the budget cuts they did that caused them to no longer have the satellite imagery, the Doppler radar, and the things that they needed to predict this shit. In fact, I'm going to show you a weatherman explain it to you. Because if there's one thing that has kept me from losing my mind through all of this, as I call my friends from back home who fucking live right there. One of my best friends lives along the exact waterway right there. And I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, luckily we are on the top of a hill. But the water is so high. Like the only thing that has kept me going is watching the weathermen chastise the fuck out of our government for the exact decisions that led to this. And watching them say, this is what's going to happen. Don't do that. Write to your representatives. And these are from 3 to 5 months ago. And I went through and I watched them and I'm like, oh, wow. When they told us what would happen, they predicted this and warned us and no one did anything. And why does it make me feel good? Because I trust our weathermen more than anything. Now, this situation makes me feel horrible, but why does it make me feel better? Because it reminds me, hey, yeah, we actually need those guys. It gives me the anger I need inside of me to bitch about it and try to do something about it and to write letters and to complain. I feel like if I complain and bitch enough, then the people who find me annoying will go, ugh, fine. We'll vote the other way so she'll shut the fuck up. Maybe we can annoy them into refunding NOAA. I don't know, but just in case anyone forgot, I think it's important to remind everyone when shit like this happens, this could be prevented. Maybe get behind that. Maybe get behind that now. Now do you see why? It's like telling someone, no, don't drink and drive. Don't do that. Give me your keys. And then they get in their car and they drink and drive and then they kill someone. And it's like, the fuck are you doing? I told you not to. It's obvious why you shouldn't do that. I don't know. But anyway, this is that house. This is crazy. This is where that woman was clinging outside to a tree. Look at how high this house is. Holy smacks.
Kerrville is where we've been centering a lot of our attention. It's where the news conference just was. It is the biggest community in the hardest hit areas of the hill country. But we've also been talking about Hunt, about Ingram and Centerpoint, which is also not far from Kerrville. It was also hard hit by this flooding on the Guadalupe River.
We know that it's 8 miles southeast of Kerrville. And yesterday, a lot of the first responders were having a difficult time getting to people because their firehouses, all of their infrastructure, that had been flooded out. Now, we do have one of our reporters from our sister station, Gage Goulding. He's joining us now live from Centerpoint, where he is there to give us the latest. Gage, thank you so much for joining us for this coverage and tell us what you've been seeing there in Centerpoint today.
Sorry, look, I can't just turn it off. I have to say it is very amusing that there is a weather guy named Gage. I can't listen. His name is Gage. And he's about to tell you about the weather. Again, this is like a guy named Tyre who's about to give you a rundown of NASCAR. Like, this is wild. I love it when weather people have fun wordplay names. Hi, I'm your meteorologist, Storm Garcia. That's awesome. Damn.
Yeah, here in Center Point, a totally different situation than what we've been seeing over the last 24 hours. This is the Guadalupe River, and I'm quite confident that if you wanted to, you could swim straight across. And we saw people kayaking up the current really without any...
Stop. Don't you dare, you bitch. Are you serious? Dallas rains? I'm going to have to watch Dallas Rains. A weather person named Dallas Rains? How are they not working in Dallas? Dallas Rains is the best weather guy name. Okay, everybody. Judy Stormfront, whatever you got. Nancy Cloudface, I want to hear him. You got a cool weatherman or weather lady in your town with a cool name? I need to know. Good morning, Donna Barkley. How are you doing today? It's like a corrupt cop named Guarino. Well, what does Guarino mean? Stormy Garcia is a stripper, absolutely. And God bless her. She does her best and she's great at dancing. A prawn star? How dare you? No, we're talking weathermen and Dallas Rains does sound like it. That actually does sound. That could be a stripper name or a weather name. You know when they say, oh, your porn name is the street you grew up on and blah, blah. We're not going to do that for OSINT purposes and for protection, security. But there's a Stormy Rodman. It's perfect. Okay, we need to know how do you determine a person's weather name? Is it a weather punt? So anything related to weather is one part of the name, and then the other is just a normal common name. And you just combine them. Once a vet receptionist called out for a dog named Licks Cox. Jesus Christ. I worked in Cox Radio for a while, and we had a shirt that said we're all a bunch of cocks. Stormy is working hard for the money to go to weather person school. Good. Speaking of weather person school, Ribbit, if you're out there watching, how is weather school going? We need you more than anything, Ribbit. In this dark time, we need Ribbit. Guarino means to guard or to protect in Italian. Guarino. Guarino. Okay, I believe it. James R. Cox. Hey, Mike Cox. That's all I'm saying. Also, I do think that one of the reasons I didn't understand Mike Hunt as a joke automatically is because I do believe there is a Mike Hunt who is a news person, and he might have been from Austin, and I wonder if in my head that just stuck as not sounding like it sounds. Does that make sense? Or you kids just got me good, you fuckers. Okay, back to Gage.
Hesitation whatsoever, but I want to really just paint a picture for you here of what this looked like just a little over 24 hours.
And never forget, we had that pedophile named Dick Abuser. Dick A. Busa. Remember? Dick Abuser. That was crazy.
Where I'm standing at right now would have been under roughly 30 feet of water. And I know it's one thing to say that, but I want you to look over here. This is a home here along River Road. You see that deck the whole way up there?
Okay, that's the deck Sue was standing on earlier. You see now how high the water was? Remember how the water was right below deck? Look at how high that deck is. That's where she was standing when she was giving you the news earlier. That's how high the water was. Remember? I told you, I said, we're going to see the house in a minute and it's going to make sense. The water in the hour, half an hour to an hour, it took him to walk down the road. In the first one, we saw the second follow-up interview. In the first interview, he said in the hour to a half hour, it took him to walk up and back in the road. The water had gone down 10 to 12 feet. So half of this, which is why she had to face plant in the boat. Which is literally like half a Hell in a Cell. That's crazy.
That deck stands 20.
By the way, that deck is exactly how high Hell in a Cell is. So the next time you watch wrestling and say that shit's fake, just remember that.
4 feet from the yard, which is another several feet above the river. The water reaching just inches under that deck. So think about that. This entire...
And that was when that guy got there. So Gage got there hours after. That's crazy high.
Kind of hollow here. All of these backyards under more than 10, 15 feet of water right here alone. I mean, it's just an incredible, unfathomable amount of water. All of this rising, according to the man that lives here, within about 10 or 15 minutes in the middle of the night, too. Imagine it's just an absolutely stunning thing to just understand where we're at right now. I'm 6'2". I would be under.
Gage, you're 6'2"?
Easily up to 18 to 20 feet of water where we're standing at.
Yeah. So these houses right here, by the way, and this is fascinating. I actually learned this from a friend who has one of these houses. One of my friends lives down here. So they can't get insurance if they're not on stilts, pretty much. So they used to not be there. In the 90s, I remember when we go down here, there was like nothing. Then they built these houses, and they said a long time ago, it was after the flood, I want to say in 98, where they were like, okay, but like there was a flood in 87 and all the houses flooded. So you got to put them on stilts and you got to be prepared. So all these people in these houses, they live there all year. They're not just like summer houses or anything. So like they're all prepped. But if you just go downstream, well, no, upstream technically, that's all camping area. And all those people are on the lower level. So see where he's standing? From his like shoulders up is where the ground houses start. And they're not just regular ground houses. They're like, what are they called? Like portables, like the kind that in elementary school, there's the outside portables. That's what they look like. So they're just like chilling at this guy's level. And the water was so high above them, 10 to 15 feet. They're asleep and that just poured in the windows. Like that's terrifying.
Yeah. Right now, I want to show you some video that we took earlier because this is the location. It's been highly publicized. The video has gone viral of a young girl that was found clinging to a tree. She traveled down the raging, absolutely tearing Guadalupe River in the middle of the night for about 15 to 20 miles. She actually was staying at the HTRTX campgrounds. It's in Kerrville, right along the river here. Her family of her and 5 others that were just swept down the river. She was found clinging to this tree by the man that lives here. And we actually had to stop here. And it was an incredible story. He actually got choked up, but she is okay. Devin Smith is her name. She's okay. But the story goes, her 5 family members, however, are not. I want you to listen to this real quick.
The house we were just looking at, you know how they were down in the grass and you're looking up? This is that bottom floor. The water was above all this. That truck, it was not in the house before this shit started. That table, I believe that's a, what do you call it? Where you, what do they call it? It's like air hockey, but you like push a thing down there. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a push 'em game. It's push the thing table. I don't remember what the fuck that game's called. Anyway, this table was right side up. Like all of it, this is all soot and mud and just shit from down in the river. Not curling, not skeet, but I see where you're going. And if you're saying skeet to be funny, that's very funny, Angela. Even if you don't swim. Imagine that happening. Like, it's terrifying. It's crazy. Yeah, water coming through your second story when this is really crazy. Coke all? Is that a game? I don't know. But I know that this is from trees that are up here. And this is from the water and the fucking down in the creek that is way down there. Like that is unbelievable. How high it went. Air hockey. No, but it's not that though. But it is like that. You have to, okay, there's numbers and then you have to push a thing and it goes and then it stops. And it has to stop at those numbers. I don't remember what it's called. Shit. Not foosball, but fuck. You guys get it. It's like that. You push it and then it goes, yeah, it's one of the bar games white people play, like rich ones. Like if you go to a shitty bar where poor people go, like the bars near where I grew up, it's basically shuffleboard. Shuffleboard. It's curling, but tiny. It's tiny curling. It's shuffleboard. Wait. So curling is the one you do with a stick, and it's Canadian, right? Wait, shuffleboard is just curling without a stick. It's tiny curling without a stick. Oh, I don't know if there's triangles, because everywhere I would go, like any bars I went to, like that shit was always broken or shut down, or people like take the sand and they throw it at you. Yeah, it has sand. Yep, it's that. Damn brain farts. I don't know. I never got to play Shutterstock. Shut up, Zane. Croquet. Did you guys ever play croquet? I saw it one time at the Goodwill and played it in the aisles. It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. Anyway, so the deck above this, I believe, is where they were standing earlier for the interview. That's crazy. The perspective is wild to me.
She just kept screaming, and I thought she was in.
This is the guy said I loved his interview so much. I love him so much. This is your typical, okay, I'm going to go on another little political rant. I apologize. Most people think that all Texans are big, dumb, asshole rednecks, right? A lot of people, especially when the French people come, or people from Italia, or people who are visiting from Europe, they always expect us to have cowboy hats and horses, and they get really excited when they go in downtown Austin or San Antonio and there's cops on horses. They go, oh my God, what is these? And we do have a lot of people from Europe come in now because of not H1N1. What's that shit where the cars, it's like fast, speedy cars? Fuck. I see my brain. I don't know. It's the racing thing that people do. It's some sort of fucking racing that's really expensive. So now that we have this big racetrack that hosts this shit, you know, we get a shitload of people. And we also have a soccer team. And so all the F1, yeah, H1N1 F1, whenever that shit happens, they all come here. And they're fun. But they're always like, where is your cowboy hat? And it doesn't matter if they're from Poland. My dad said when he came here from Poland, his first thought is like, where is all the cowboy hats? Where is the people on the horses? Like, where is the cowboys? Why is there no country music? They don't understand. What they don't understand is that most, like, and also, like, not every dude's a good old boy. Not everyone's out to get you. Most Texas dads are literally a version of Hank Hill. That's why Texans love the fuck out of King of the Hill. They're conflicted with liberal sentiment, and they get upset and they barbecue, and they have very, very serious feelings towards things like propane versus coal, their lawn. They wear the same thing all the time. This guy is that guy. This is a guy who retired, and he wears t-shirts, and he wears fucking John Cena shorts every day. Every day. And he goes outside on his deck. He checks his flowers. He has some sort of bar game inside of his house, like shuffleboard. You're going to find old vintage signs everywhere. He's going to have a lot of friends that are going to primarily be really strange groups of people. It's usually going to be like really, really old people that are extremely just, they have very unique, sharp personalities. There's usually going to be a bunch of teens. And I know that sounds weird, but it's always like, you got to watch out for Clint's kid. You know, he come up here, started a fire. Now we got to watch him. They're always trying to help a group of at-risk teens. Well, them girls come up here floating in the river in their bikinis, picking up random boys. They're gonna get hurt. You can't trust men nowadays. I told her, I said, get her a tire kit. I taught them girls how to change tires that day. If you wonder why women in Texas are always picking up snakes and changing their tires, it's because they have a neighbor like this who's like, I'm just looking out for you because I remember your Pepe and he was a good man. There's always going to be a river dad. You understand? There's always a river dad. And then there's always a river mom. If you go down to the rivers, there's always going to be some old lady there who's like, well, my great granddaughter, she grew up down the road. She knows your mama. I just want to make sure you're all right. Here's $100 bill. You kids go have fun. There's always going to be some fucking rich old lady. It's going to be some river dad. He's going to help you change a tire. The old lady's going to make sure, oh, I ain't bled in a year. I ain't bled in a hog's age, but I got you tampon back here, hon. It's like stripper den mothers. There's just one in every town. And they're usually not a couple. It's usually some lady who's her husband passed and no one questions it. And a dude who's divorced, whose ex-wife took everything, and he's river dad. You know? Or she lives with him and she just stays in the house and she's like, I don't like the lake. It's a stripper den mother who she lives on the lake. And then every other small town, they usually run the convenience store. Whoever runs a convenience store, they're the one looking out for everyone. If there was noodling, he'd be a noodle dad. But there's always that guy. It's always that guy where people are like, he's weird. He always has teens at his house. And it's like, yeah, but his son died in a drunk driving accident when he was 16. So just let him have it. He's like, you remember when Wesley used to come down these roads? I remember when y'all was little kids. They got all the goods. What's up? You're tired? What? You're in jail now? Well, I'm going to have to sell the four-wheeler, but I know you're good for it. Convenience store that sells all the worms. Tiff. You're talking Houston and Corpus area. You're talking Houston and Corpus area, and I'm speaking your language. Yes. And there's usually way more down there because that's where they congregate to fish. Okay? So there are river dads, river moms, small town couples. It's always a couple. They always own the convenience store. There's always a guy in a taco truck who, like, his kids are all in college. They're being lawyers and he's still struggling. And he's like, I'm keeping my truck. I'm going to keep working till the day I die. And he's the guy. That's where you go to get the good tacos. And he's parked outside the gas station. There's also always a dad that you get puppies from. And that's the part. Look, okay, let me make myself big for this one because some of you are going to hate this, but it's just the truth. In Texas, there are two types of people, okay? When it comes to dogs, there are people who have too many dogs and they have youth and they're irresponsible and they live in the city. And then there are the people who have to raise the dogs and find homes for the dogs. And those are the people out in the country. So when you're a fucking fuckface asshole in the city who gets a puppy or a dog and you don't know how to take care of it, what do? They drive to the outskirts and they dump them. And there's always like a dog dad. The women always save the cats. I don't know what that's about, but it's just true. But dog dad, well, there is one lady in San Antonio who saves the dogs. But anyway, there's always a person in town who goes and picks up the dogs. They just always have a stray on them. And they're like, you need a good dog? They're usually good at training. And eventually, the dog dads, there's a trickle-down effect. And these dogs will mate. And those puppies will end up at a Walmart. Now, a lot of people go, what? A Walmart parking lot, specifically. And they're not dumped. The puppies aren't dumped. There's usually going to be someone in a truck with the back truck bed down. There's going to be a box that says puppies. There's going to be a kid holding one of the puppies who doesn't want to let it go. But their fucking mom is like, nope, got to get rid of them. It's always going to be on a Sunday. And for $10 or $15, you could get you a fine-ass little puppy right there. Why? Because the strays made it before dog dad could get to them. So he handed them off to a family with kids that would play with the puppies until they're done with their fucking shots. And then they will go take the puppies down there. There's no ASPCA animal shelter. It's called the Walmart parking lot. That's where you go. That's it. And you sit in that parking lot till all the puppies are gone. And people go, well, how are you going to know they're not going to a fighting group? Because Estrella is going to grill your ass before she gives you a puppy. And she also knows your family lineage, and they know who your brother's cousin is and what they did, and they went to fucking 8th grade with your nephew. That's how they know. And that's it. And you always have a local vet. Ours was Mr. Decent. And you take the fucking Walmart puppy down there, and he says it's going to be $50 to snip it. And then you go, yeah, but I got it at the Walmart. And he goes, all right, fine, give it to me. And then he snips it. And that's it. No, they don't go to your house. They don't go to your house. There's no reason for that. They look you in the eye and they see if you have a demon in you. Yeah, Estrella. It's always Estrella. It's always Estrella or Miss Q or the lady who, there's actually a couple of them in my town. Estrella always sells tamales and has puppies, and that's just that. And she fucking rules, and she also tells fortunes, but I don't go to her, but my friends did. And she ends up with the rest of the puppies, and she's the one you go to. And she'll tell you if you have a dark soul or not, and then she decides whether you get a puppy. That's just it. That's how small towns work. This is a river dad. He's probably got 1 or 2 good-ass hounds that he keeps on him. They probably sniffed out the lady in the tree. Anyway, I love his personality and the way he talks.
She is okay. Devin Smith is her name. She's okay. But the story goes, her 5 family members, however, are not. I want you to listen to this real quick.
She just kept screaming, and I thought she was in the river. It sounded like the voice was moving, but finally I was able to hone in on it and saw her in the tree. And so at that point, I went to hollering back to her that, hey, I see you. We're going to get some help for you, but you're going to have to hang on. And she said, I guess God had a better plan for me. And it's the truth.
She said, I'm grateful to be alive, but she said, I'm just hurting because her whole family, that's the largest bulk of her family was with her, and now they're unaccounted for, but
think about that. 5 family members. They have not been seen yet. They have not been accounted for. It's Travis Reynolds who
I love Travis. He's like, God just had a better plan for me. That man rules. That man rules. He was there, dude. He was there. He was like, honey, we're going to get you out of that tree. I love him so much. His whole interview, I'd play it for you, but it makes me weep. He was like, well, I come outside. She was up in the tree. I said, honey, darling, what are you doing in that tree?
His brother is one of those that are missing. So Devin Smith, the one that was clinging to the tree, she's in the hospital. Other than, of course, the traumatic experience that she just went through, she's really okay. She got some bangs and bruises and a gash on the back of her head, but really, that's the worst of it for her, which is an absolute miracle that she was able to survive this. The people that are missing, her mom, her dad, her aunt and uncle, and her sister, all of those people were swept away. They were tent camping right along the banks of the Guadalupe River. They were awoken by water inside their tent. They went to their cars, and then their cars started floating. They tried to get away, but they couldn't. And this is story after story after story.
I have to tell you, too, this is... Dude, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, who could I hook this guy up with? Gage? You want to be Miss Gage? In all seriousness, when I non-consensually floated, I was hating it. I hated it. And it was up to the middle of my doors, and luckily it didn't come in but maybe more than 3 or 4 inches in my car. And it was not that long. It's probably less than a minute. But I hated it. I hated every second of it. I was absolutely terrified. This would fucking suck. I feel so bad for these people. And then to fast float? Oh, fuck that. In the dark? No, thank you.
Story that we've heard like this, but you can imagine if they were able to float 15, 20 miles down this river that, even though these folks in Kerrville may have been the ones impacted, the search and rescue mission is going to stretch much further downstream than that. And I know that's something that we've been talking about. We've been hearing from our local leaders and state leaders is that this is not just, kind of hyper localized here. You might see helicopters and boats and search crews in other areas, and you might be sitting there scratching your head going, why are they there? Why are they not here in Kerrville or Center Point in the areas that were hardest hit? Well, it's because that water moving at an incredibly fast speed, like there's a plane flying right over right now, if you can hear it in the background. That water just took them and just absolutely sent them down the river. So here in Center Point, a quick update around here. If you're trying to get in and out of here, The volunteer fire department's actually on the other side of the street here. If we can zoom in, Eddie Diaz working the lens for us here. You can see they are very well staffed. Tons of people coming in and out of there. And actually, Eddie, if you pull out, you can see one of these crew members here right along the banks here. We saw horses going up and down. Well, people on horses, I should say. And then people walking these banks right here multiple times. You know, it's not just once.
So I shit on the horses a lot, not like literally, and not for existing. I love horses. I just shit on the idea of like cops on horses and all that. I'm like, why are we fucking doing this downtown? But let me tell you something. When it comes to search and rescue, horses are necessities in Texas, especially in shit like this. They'll fucking take you through that area so fast. If you've never ridden a horse, it's terrifying, but fast. It's very fast. And it's nice because they see a tree and they go around it. It's like, thank you, horse.
Time they're going, combing through 3, 4, 5 times, making sure that there's quite literally, I believe it was Governor Abbott said that they're not going to leave any stone unturned. But in this area here, if you're looking to get across here, I know there's a couple crossings of the river here, Camp Arrowhead Road. There's still heavy machinery there. It looks like the county or TxDOT working to open that back up. So even traveling around Center Point at this point, guys, is still quite a mess. Guys?
Gage, you're exactly right. I mean, that's what we were talking about yesterday, was the fact that they couldn't even get to these volunteer fire stations because of the flooding. What have you seen in the city itself of Center Point? And I'm sure you've talked to other people. It breaks your heart when you think of the woman that was clinging to the tree that doesn't know where the rest of her family is. What have you seen there as far as damage and when you talk to people?
Yeah, they will roll over on you and break your pelvis. I had a horse knock me off once. It bucked me and then it went into a lake and it just wanted to go get like cooled down in the lake. It was going real fast though. Busted my arm pretty bad. Also busted my nose open on one once. You got to make sure that your horse is a good horse, of course, and make sure your friend Tara is not pranking you and putting you on the wild one just to see you freak out because it's her birthday. R.I.P. Tara, I miss her. Oh, she died in that shooting, but she was a badass. She was so crazy with horses. Let me tell you something about my friend Tara. God rest her soul. She was the craziest pranker. She lived on, Tara story time. My friend Tara, she grew up, her dad passed away when she was little, so it was her and her mom. And they had a good amount of money. I don't know if it was like an insurance thing or what, but I guess like they were well off. But she was one of those kids who she would say like, I'd give it all up to have my dad back, and I'd weep and we'd weep. And for the first 14 years of my life, I didn't know who my dad was, and my mom didn't meet my stepdad until I was 14. So me and her were like dadless and badasses. Like we were badless, dadless. Like, check this out. We're going to have a good time. And me and her used to just go to her house because her mom chose to open up like the only kennel in town, if you will. We didn't have ASPCA, but we had her mom. Her mom was the one, she would board your dogs. You know what I mean? Like if you went out of town and you needed someone to watch your pets, but also if there were any strays that they absolutely couldn't find families for, you go to Tara's house. And it basically became like a dog plantation. It's like a plantation land. It's like lush and it's just a ton of it. It was meant for farming, but it just had kennels and kennels and kennels and a ton of dogs. She was a dog mom, big time. But she also worked a lot. And I believe she was like a horse trainer. She had like a shitload of horses. And Tara had a bunch of horses. And her mom would have to go pick up animals all the time. And while she's taking off, like it would just be us on all this property with like, imagine 2 preteen girls. All right. And Tara barrel raced. That's where I learned. And fuck that. I will never again. That shit was scary. But she was a pro. But she had all these horses. There's all these dogs and puppies. And it's just us on this land. In this big ass 2-story house. And we're just like, oh, shut up, Sherlock. You know what I meant? Jesus Christ. And I remember being like, oh my God, it's puppy time. You know what I mean? But there were also big dogs. There were all kinds of dogs. So I told you guys how I got attacked by a dog when I was little. She used to goof with me about it. She was one of my friends. I didn't care if she called me Squeaky Toy, but it was funny. But little dogs would freak me out, not big ones. But I remember one time she woke me up This is a bitch. When I was taking a shower once, she just opened the door and threw a bunch of oatmeal at me. And I was like, what the fuck? So she'd prank the shit out of me. But really, one of my favorites is she would, to wake me up, because I wouldn't wake up for nothing, she'd let all the dogs in the house. And I'm talking like an hour. She would take like 4 or 5 on a leash and bring them in and unleash them, go back out, get 4 or 5 more until the house was filled with dogs. And she'd be like, come on, everyone. And she'd grab a treat and she'd run up the stairs and imagine 40 or 50 dogs chasing you up the stairs. She would do that. And I could hear them coming. And I'd be like, and I'd wake up and try to get up in time. And then she'd throw the treat at me. And then there's just a ton of dogs on me, licking my face and jumping on me. And it was crazy. But her other favorite thing to do is she'd be like, you want to go horse riding? And only if her mom was there, I was like, fuck no, not with you. Because I learned, because she used to put me on the horse and be like, no, it's fine. And she had so many. She had a lot of horses. This one's good. She'd always train him to do something crazy. As soon as I got on its back, she'd be like, up. And then the horse would just go up. And I'm like, ah. And it was just her way of pranking me. Yeah, the smell was very memorable. It actually was. But yeah, that was her way of pranking me. And I remember she put me on this horse one time and knocked my ass off. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? And she's like, oh yeah. That one, I think she named it Mermaid because it just liked to get in the water. It just bolted for the water. And I was like, fuck. Damn, I missed her. She was crazy as shit, but I loved her. Anyway, let's finish watching this. We're going to finish watching Gage. And then I probably got to go. I got to go walk the Hugin and eat some Dugan.
I will say about the fire department, we hear there was about 4 to 5 feet of water inside the fire department. So as you look across, you can just only imagine how high that water actually was in that area. I do believe the apparatus was out, so those engines were out, responding to calls already. But in the town of Centerpoint, what's incredible to see is how the damage is really localized here along the river, but you see so many people, Texans helping Texans, that are coming up. Even just in the time we've been here, look, you can see these folks here, they're cleaning up. The one gentleman, he's been working the phones, getting people all up and down the banks here, up and down River Road. But you see the guy on the little skid steer here, it's somebody that just stopped by to help on out. People have been just grabbing brooms and squeegees to just get that muck, that river silt, that stinky, heavy silt that's deposited here. Pressure washing, all of that stuff. It's been an all hands on deck, right? But a lot of people that aren't necessarily living in this exact area, living here on River Road or right along the Guadalupe River. But once you get a couple streets away, even the gentleman that lived here that had all that water, nearly 30 feet of water just underneath his deck, he said he really only went about a block and a half down the road. That was his safe spot. So that's the good news, is that those that are impacted, it's a hyper localized thing. It's not like the entire town of Centerpoint necessarily was inundated by floodwaters, and it's because you kind of have this little bathtub area.
Yeah, a little soup bowl, Gage. It's called a little soup bowl. Hold on, I want to go back because I want to show you. We're not going to end with Gage. I want to show you this. I wanted to show you this earlier, and I want to show you this now. And I have, okay, here it is. So we're actually going to end on Schumann updates. But right now, before we get into that, hold on one second. Let me pull this up. I want to show you, boop, boop, boop. I'm going to show you some of the scenes from the Guadalupe River from the drones. And I want to show you the weather guys going off about the NOAA, because it's wild to go back and watch it now. It's just, this needs to be seen. But these are here. Hold on, let me pull this up. These are I believe this is the drone footage one. That this just gives you some scenes from around town. I have another one I'm going to look up while this plays. That's really crazy because it's I think it's time lapse or something, or someone might have filmed it right at the right moment. It's really crazy to see the water as it rushes in. It's just I was tripping out watching it. I was like, I would be so freaked out. I've never seen it do that down there. And I've been down there a lot. So this is weird. It's just never done that. Look for Dallas. We'll also look for Dallas rains. I promise.
That's so sad. That is so sad.
By the way, this is most Texans. It's, oh, there's a baby deer. This is so sad. This is literally how most of us talk.
Oh no, she just went under. No, the mama. Oh no.
Fuck, I'm muted again. My bad. I just want to let y'all know. I know that that was distressing, but I will let you know, usually a lot of the time, like I would say 9 out of 10, that's just me highballing a number. But in all seriousness, I've seen fields of like deer, buffalo, cows. They get swept away in floods. It's so strange. Most of the time, they just get put back the fuck down. They remarkably last almost all the way down. It's really crazy. Now, one of the wildest things that I've seen in floods just like this, like especially in the 98 flood, I cannot stress how crazy that was. A lot of animals will get redistributed around town, and then you have to drive around and get yours. I had a friend who had like 100 heads of bison that were just floating around, and he had to drive throughout the county to collect his bison. Goats, deer, feral deer just getting picked up and relocated in other communities is wild. Now, I hope that baby deer is okay, but it's kind of crazy how after a flood, you'll see a ton of deer in like a community you never see them in. And it's just like, where did they come from? And they're all wet. They just float. They just float down the water till it's time, and then they get put somewhere. It's very strange. It's very strange. Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? You're not being a dick, but the problem is the camp didn't have warning because the radar and the satellites that told us about when this shit's going to happen were defunded by the current presidential administration and Elon Musk. And you'll see what I mean. I'm not being a radical on this. We were warned by weathermen in the most hardcore conservative places. The weathermen went nuts and were like, no, this is fucked. Don't do that. They were pissed. So yeah, and this is and they're already getting blamed for it, and they're like, you fucking fired us. You know, what do you do? By the way, if you are looking at this right now going, I wonder how low that water usually is, 30 feet. It's 30 feet between where this camera person is standing and the bottom of where that water, where the water should be at its top. So this is after it was bad. Cars couldn't drive across this. So that's really great. These are the tops of like 40-foot trees.
Look at your ass. Right, it's we were sitting in the parking lot watching the game. They're having this kind of conversation, and they're going to talk to us and do the whole thing. But yeah, we're watching about off that radio. Holy shit. Yeah. How's it been raining? Well, stage and yeah, no kidding. No, stage and VA's gone. They came up so fast. They didn't have a chance to do anything about it.
Are y'all from Kerrville? Yeah, this is horrible. Everyone's like looking. This is like, I think they were just compared to the other people. They jacked
I don't think there's going to be a show today.
all the way for no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, this did happen in 1987, but it wasn't this bad. I mean, they were saying it was as bad, but that was yesterday. Now it's like, oh no, this might be worse. And then it happened in 98, but more South Texas, where I'm from. And that was the one where it was just as high, but it was floating up from the Cibolo Creek, which is really, really tiny. And all the small towns were just, I mean, it was up to our doorstep and we were on a 30-foot hill. So that's pretty crazy to think about. And in San Antonio, the zoo flooded and the animals were floating around. So that's pretty nuts. But this, I think, is, I mean, honestly, I think this might be worse. I don't know. This is pretty bad. Let me put it this way. In my lifetime, this has never happened there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah, no, a Tesla Cybertruck could never. Remember the one lady in Texas? Hers went in the lake and she died. And her husband was like pretty high up in politics. It wasn't Mitch McConnell's wife, was it? No, it was someone crazy. It was nuts. Also, the problem with Cybertrucks, the reason a lot of people hate them now before all the politics stuff is because if they get wet, they just rust. So there's that. So I believe right over there that you're looking at, I believe that might be the university down there. So that's pretty weird. Yes, it's Mitch McConnell's sister-in-law. Just drove that right into that lake, huh? That was nuts. That was crazy. Yeah, she got trapped in her Tesla as it sunk. Her Tesla Cybertruck, right? It was a Cybertruck, or was it just a Tesla? Oof. Yeah, they made it like that. And you know how people found out? They washed their Cybertrucks and they rusted. Fucking crazy.
I'm deeply concerned about the layoffs. Texas is the #1 state in the union for tornadoes. We know right now we have wildfire alerts with high winds.
As smoke filled the skies over central Texas Tuesday, fire crews raced to put out wildfires. Local leaders now fear that with layoffs at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration
Okay, so now we're going to get into the weathermen being mad. This is 3 months ago. Look at that, only 290 views because people were like, we don't care. Also, you think that's ugly? I saw a yellow and a blue one. They get uglier, trust me. Looks like a fucking square minion. But yeah, literally, this is here we go. Get ready to see the weather guys freak out and warn us about this.
NOAA, the next warning about extreme weather could come too late.
I think this underscores the need that we have for continued funding for things like NOAA and the National Weather Service, because you can't just always walk outside and see what the weather is going to bring to you.
NOAA is the federal agency responsible for tracking severe weather, ocean conditions, and climate data. Its National Weather Service provides real-time forecasts, which local meteorologists and emergency managers rely on.
We cannot do that job. TV station weather offices cannot do that job without the Weather Service. We need them.
The White House says more than 800 NOAA employees, including some NWS meteorologists, were laid off last week. This was part of the efforts by the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, to shrink.
I'm sorry, what was that? What was that? And by the way, this is one of the most conservative weathermen in news stations that I'm showing you this from. So don't say I'm being an asshole. Don't you dare. Don't you dare tell me for a second that this was Biden's fault. Because he gave them funding. I'm getting political. I'm pissed off. Do you see this man? He couldn't even wear the red one. He got his own black one. This piece of shit. His own kid's hiding from him. His kid told Trump to shut the fuck up. On TV. He said, shh, you shut the fuck up. Told him to shut up to his fucking face. The only hero here is this child. Everybody else fucking sucks in this picture.
Shrink the federal
and they're the reason all those kids are dead.
Budget. The layoff sparked protests at NOAA headquarters, with lawmakers and meteorologists condemning the cuts.
They want to fire people for doing their job. They want to fire the climate scientists for doing their job.
Weather expert Troy Kimmel says there may be room to cut positions at NOAA, but argues the National Weather Service should be off limits since it issues critical.
Yep. And he put boogers on the desk. Boogers on the desk.
Off limits since it issues critical warnings.
It will affect how people get watches, warnings, advisories, and general forecast for the community.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and get the latest news by downloading the CBS Austin News app.
Yep. Here's another. Now, just in case you're like, oh, well, Texas is being dramatic. Here's one from South Florida. Another very conservative state that normally wouldn't spread such propaganda, right? That's what they call it. They call it propaganda. Well, now everyone's floating in a human soup. So you tell me.
Listen, I've been on this, since 8 o'clock this morning on social media, and there is a lot of anxiety out there because you don't see it turning, right? When is it going to turn? John, it's not turning. It's coming straight to us. It's going to turn.
By the way, I'm gonna go back. This should be a monologue done in middle schools to try and get into one act play. This is Matthew McConaughey in A Time to Kill. What if she was white? This is such a great presentation of what he's about to say. This is Yannetti's opening. This is Alan's closing. This weatherman found a way to put it in the most Mr. Rogers what the fuck terms. And I absolutely love this. I love how he presents it. Pay very close attention. This is insane. I love him so much.
Been on this, since 8 o'clock this morning on social media, and there is a lot of anxiety out there because you don't see it turning, right? When is it going to turn? John, it's not turning. It's coming straight to us. It's going to turn. All right. The turn was never forecast to be on Sunday. The turn isn't even on Monday morning. The turn will come Monday afternoon, Monday evening, into Tuesday.
By the way, that is Triple H before Cody Rhodes' heel turn. He's like, listen, it's coming. Just wait for WrestleMania. I promise it's going to happen.
Remember that? That was about 6 years ago. That was Hurricane Dorian, as it was absolutely devastating the Northwest Bahamas as a Category 5, sat over that region for 2 days. It was headed straight west. Lots of people in Florida were concerned the hurricane was heading here. And as you've grown accustomed to my presentations over my 34 years in South Florida newscasts, confidently, I went on TV and I told you It's going to turn. You don't need to worry. It is going to turn. And I am here to tell you that I'm not sure I can do that this year because of the gutting, the sledgehammer attack on science in general, and I could talk about that for a long, long time, and how that is affecting the U.S. Leadership in science over many years, and how we're losing that leadership, and this is a multi-generational impact on science in this country, all right? But specifically, let's talk about the federal government cuts to the National Weather Service and to NOAA. Did you know that Central and South Florida National Weather Service offices are currently basically 20 to 40% understaffed? From Tampa to Key West, including the Miami office, 20 to 40% understaffed. Now, this type of staffing shortage is having impacts across the nation because there's been a nearly 20% reduction in weather balloon launches that carry those radiosondes. And what we're starting to see is that the quality of the forecasts is becoming degraded. There's also a chance, because of some of these cuts, that NOAA Hurricane Hunter aircraft will not be able to fly this year, and with less reconnaissance missions, we may be flying blind. And we may not exactly know how strong a hurricane is before it reaches the coastline, like happened a couple of years ago in Hurricane Otis in Acapulco, Mexico. So I was asked to talk about this today. I'm glad I was. I just want you to know that what you need to do is call your representatives and make sure that these cuts are stopped.
Here in 2025, your First Alert weather team also has an extra eye on changes within NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Specifically, you've asked us what implications funding and staffing cuts or potential cuts might have on storm tracking and forecasting in the upcoming hurricane season. Good questions. First, it should be noted that NOAA is a large and diverse organization. Many of its departments have missions that aren't connected to hurricane forecasting and awareness. In those that are, any disruptions in weather balloon launches, buoys, satellite and radar maintenance, and staffing of National Weather Service forecast offices could hypothetically undermine the quality and urgency of hurricane forecasts. It's just about impossible to quantify that, though, as this hurricane season hasn't happened yet, and every storm in history has come with its own quirks and uncertainties. Upper air sampling with balloons and Hurricane Hunter aircraft are not going away apart from a major shift in the next few months. And I can't imagine these critical forecast tools won't ramp up in high leverage storm situations just like always. In a statement from the National Hurricane Center, NOAA remains, quote, dedicated to its missions, providing timely information and research and resources that serve the American public and ensure our nation's environmental and economic resilience. We'll continue to provide weather information, forecasts, and warnings pursuant to our public safety missions, end quote. Also, as a positive, our local Wilmington National Weather Service Forecast Office remains intact, and the KLTX Doppler radar tower in Charlotte remains fully operational.
The number of those who have lost their lives in this catastrophic flooding continues to rise by the hour as expected. The latest update was...
Okay, so this was the latest update when we started the live. I just wanted to, put this in here as like a here's where we're at. This is what was this just a few hours ago. So here's an update.
Now getting, and I say this with a really heavy heart, 43 people have died in the flooding and their bodies have been recovered. 28 adults and 15 children. Some of them are still pending identification at this hour. There are a lot of still missing people, 27 missing girls out of Mystic Camp that they are still searching for. Camp Mystic, I should say, that they're still searching for. They did emphasize that they will consider every person still alive until that person is located, that the search and rescue efforts are going to go on 24/7, and that we're holding out hope. You know, they're not going to give up until they find every single person.
And, you know, they did want to mention the missing number 27 comes out of Camp Mystic. As far as the rest of the missing population, they just don't know. They say so many visitors were in the area of Kerrville, Ingram, Hunt for the July 4th holiday that they just cannot put a number outside of the missing at Camp Mystic. Those numbers are constantly changing. Leaders were expecting that to happen today. And many camps, they say, are accounting for their own people. So for those who still have missing family members that you need to report them missing, there is a call center that has been established. You can either call or email this call center, 830-258-1111. Again, that call center number, 830-258-1111. Or if you have a cell service that's really acting up right now, you can try and email floodrecovery@co.cur.tx.us if you can provide their last known location and any identifying information.
Yeah, they also talked about the search efforts underway right now as we speak, saying that they are focusing on 1 mile north of Camp Mystic up through Hunt and Ingram, and also really along the riverbanks. They said the water, now that it has receded, they're beginning to really go in and search in that area. They made some really important reminders for the folks who are out there who live in the area. Do not go out to the city, to the major areas that are impacted. They said just pick up the debris that's right in front of your home, put it in the trash cans, but just know that the area is still very hazardous, dangerous, a lot of treacherous conditions all around. So they really want everybody to stay safe and try to stay at home if you can. They did talk about, obviously, the widespread damage throughout Hunt, Ingram, Kerrville. Power outages are affecting a lot of people, saying that customers prepare for multi-day outages right now, especially in the Hunt area. They talked about 40 down power poles and widespread damage. So a lot of people are going to be without electricity for a while. Water is being impacted as well. Also, they talked about property damage, not necessarily in this press conference, but this is something they've been emphasizing that you can go ahead and begin applying for claims on your property damage by going to disaster.texas.gov. They said if you have the capacity now to do that, it's going to help them down the road, even though they are focusing on search and rescue efforts number one at this point. If you have the capacity in a safe location, go ahead and begin the application process, because later on they're going to be getting that from everyone else at once. So this is going to give them the time to, catch up. And finally, if you are looking for ways to donate, Kerrville mayor said that they have set up a direct fund to the city of Kerrville. You can find that on Kerrville's Facebook page. We learned earlier today, Houston Texans are contributing $500,000 to provide support and resources. So the best way that you can help, a lot of people have been asking, what can I do? Is to make a donation to the Kerrville's Facebook page on that donation fund. A lot of prayers are needed at this point. And then there are also other places like Salvation Army, Red Cross that you can donate to.
Take a look at this drone video of the San Gabriel River. This was sent by Wisconsin. County officials tell KX saying 3 people are still missing. And for a little perspective here, the San Gabriel River floods once the water reaches 9 feet, but it crested at 33 feet. That was around midday today, a full 24 feet above flood stage. Water started to recede immediately after cresting, and it's currently...
The way, this is north of us just a little bit. So this is probably closer to us, and this is north. This is coming down, I believe, into Lake Travis, if I remember correctly. It might drain off there. Lake Travis is the one that feeds into Lady Bird Lake. It's technically the Colorado River. That is where they keep finding all the bodies from people. It's a big boating community, and it's where everybody gets wasted and falls in the water. They pop up a few weeks later from drowning, and then everybody says it's a serial killer. But really, it's just people getting wasted on boats mostly, and then kids, unfortunately, taking their own lives. So that situation, this all goes into that, like all this water. So that water has been low like historically for a couple of years now. And it was so low and so bad that these lakeside restaurants like the Oasis and stuff, there was no water in the lake for the lakeside restaurants. Like it was just dry. Like it was so low there you couldn't even swim. It was pitiful. Jacob's Well, which is a really popular place to go, that's down a little south in Wimberley, like the well dried up. Like it was like the water was so low, this like endless well, the water started in it, which had never happened before. Like the water it's just been so low because of droughts and stuff and lack of rainfall. And now all of that rainfall from prior to this incident had already filled it up sufficiently to where it was finally back where it was. There was even a website for a while that was like, I think it was called like How Fucked Is the Lake or What's the Fucking Lake Levels. It had the F word in it, but it was pretty funny. And it was like this person set up a web crawler to kind of go grab and scrape all these different lake level websites, and it would tell you how dry the lake was, like how low it was or how high the water was, if you could swim in it yet. And it'd be like, fuck no, you can't. There's not enough fucking water. And it reminded me of the fucking weather, which used to be another one of my favorites. It's where I got my weather for a decade. And the fucking weather.com, I don't even know if it's still up anymore, but it'd be like, it's fucking hot. It would tell you how hot it is. Anyway, the water's been so historically low that these websites shut down. They're like, it's never going to be fine. And at least the lake one did, I think. I know it stopped for a while. It's like, we'll be back when the water comes back. So, yeah, there's just been no water. And now, lately, it's finally been what it normally is. And then this happened, and it's so many fuck tons of water that now there's too much water. First, we thought we didn't have enough water, and now we have too much water. It's just wild. And so all of that is now starting to show its effects here in Austin. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. So usually, and I'm not complaining or anything, this is just how it goes. There's a pattern here, and that pattern, I believe, is usually there's like a flood, right? It's very catastrophic and tragic. People start to rebuild. But what happens then after that is usually people get really sick. Usually a lot of flus or some new type of COVID or something happens. And I think it's because all of the transfer and the mildew and a lot of shit gets moldy, and, you know, houses get replaced into other places they shouldn't be, and people. And it just kind of starts this whole chain effect of everybody getting sick. And then we're definitely going to see a spike in like homeless, because that historically happens. A lot of displaced people. And then there's going to be unrest. And then there's probably going to be a couple of news stories about it. And then everyone's going to threaten the governor. And then prices of eggs are going to go up. And then nothing's going to change because there's going to be another natural disaster. And that's usually what happens. Just over and over and over. So I'm hoping that they don't find any more bodies and that everybody's alive. That would be nice, first of all. Second of all, I hope that our local and state government hears us and says, okay, we'll finally fix it. My bad. Like Marcus, like my bad. We're Frederickson with the gun. And then hopefully, and that's a metaphorical hypothetical gun. It's a joke for any crazies out there. And then hopefully, you know, we fix infrastructure and shit gets better. But for now, go buy your allergy meds and stock up on toilet paper and get eggs while they're cheap. Or go buy a chicken and squeeze it. That's my best advice. And if you're missing a loved one and you want me to show it on the show so people can get more eyes on it, tell me who, send it to me, and I'll do that. Until then, this is pretty fucking crazy. There's a lot of water going on here. But I think we've seen enough. I think we get the idea. And I think I've complained enough. I feel okay now. I mean, nobody feels good. This is sad. But I feel like I'm at the point where we can move on and look at the Schumann updates. So I'm now going to play you the Schumann updates. No spoilers. While I look up Dallas Rains. You know what? Fuck it. We'll look up Dallas Rains first. Okay? Because I promised you we'd look up your local weatherman. Are there any other local weathermen or weather women with weather-related names for me to look up? That's Dallas Rains? Oh my God. Yikes. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude, but yikes. Oh, it's like a tribute to him? Oh, I bet I'm going to feel so bad after this. I bet he's so dope. I bet he's a really cool dude, isn't he? Because he looks like a scumbag. He looks like he's going to be, he's very tan. You're right. He looks like he's about to sell me a car that will blow up when I drive it out of the lot. This man looks like, who is it? Who is it on Zoolander that Magatu? He looks like Magatu, kind of. Liberace Magatu. He looks like Tan Magatu. Magatan. Wow. Okay. Let's just show you guys. Yours was Roy Leap. I don't know if that's a Hansel. Yo, this is wild, this guy. Okay. We're going to watch Dallas Rains. Hold on. Let me pull him up. It's not, is it Mari? He kind of looks like Mari Povich. You are not the father. Hold on. This guy, this is thrilling. Okay. This is Dallas Rains. I can't believe Dallas Rains is their weatherman. Where is this? LA? This is LA? He's so hot right now. Okay, that's enough. That's a good one. That's good wordplay. Or I guess a quote. Is that what that would be? Just a quote? Just a well-applied quote. Look at this dude. He's Maury.
Rotating around the West Coast. All the way down.
The man, the myth, the legend, Chief Meteorologist Dallas Rains is celebrating a major milestone. And right now, around this time, Dallas would normally have one last look at your AccuWeather forecast, but we have something special to share today.
Dallas is celebrating 40 years of forecasting here at KABC. And to honor that incredible achievement, we have some surprises and special messages to share.
Dallas looks like he did cocaine all night in Las Vegas and got put away wet. God damn. Dallas looks like he floated down the river, down the Guadalupe River all night. Dallas looks like he was found in a tree today. This is insane. This is your weatherman? I am impressed.
First, though, Rob Hayes kicks things off.
Los Angeles, 1984. Sure, a few athletes swung into town and made a big splash, but slipping in under the radar that year was a sprightly young man with a head full of hair.
All the reporting stations tonight have clear skies.
And a gold medal tan.
This is how I get the real tan over here, George.
A man with a name hewn from the heavens.
When it rains, it rains.
Dallas Rains. Channel 7. 007, our secret weapon that
Dallas Rains has kidnapped women in his basement and they don't want to go home. Like, that's how crazy this guy is, but how much he parties.
Again achieved a monumental milestone.
40 years.
That's right, 40 years.
Dallas Rains owes Jimmy Kimmel so much money.
Forecasting the weather at ABC 7. Some might even say more.
Dallas Rains is best friends with his fourth wife, his third wife, and his first wife.
Than forecast.
He controls the weather.
The day that I got married to my beautiful wife, Molly, it looked like there was going to be a thunderstorm, and it was an outdoor wedding. We're out in Ojai, and then I called Dallas and I said, Dallas, please, is there anything you can do? And Dallas went outside on his front lawn. He was not dressed, by the way. He walked outside, he looked up at the sky, and he shouted at the thunderclouds. He said, go away.
He is Ron Burgundy. This is Dallas Rains is Ron Burgundy. Number 2 is dead. He can't talk to her if he wanted to. And it's not his fault. He did nothing. Charlie Sheen calls Dallas Rains for advice. That's his Tiger Blood hookup. He says giggity and he means it. He's the best. He is the best. He's a hippo? No hell.
I beseech thee. And the sky cleared. We had a beautiful wedding, thanks to the power of Mr. Dallas Raines.
One more time, Dallas. Please do it again.
And about those forecasts, over the past 40 years, we've gone through a lot of branding. Live Mega Doppler 7000 HD. But it seems pretty obvious. The simplest and best name
At 11.
At 11.
at 11 is the Dallas Raines 4-knuckle forecast.
We all got to learn to do that then, I guess.
Not to lessen.
Oh, he went 4 knucks deep. Oh, he knows the 4-knuckle forecast is his opening move in bed. Dallas Raines knows what he's doing. Also, who is that guy? Is that there Alessi? The 4-knuckle guy? I liked his energy. Go back. What? Hey, what would Dallas do? That's a good bracelet.
Is the
This
Dallas Raines
This is the Alessi of the group. He's the brains.
4-knuckle forecast.
That dude, dude, don't get your hair dyed that black. That doesn't actually look good, sir. That's too dark. You need to lighten it up so it looks legit. What the fuck is going on with this? Yeah, 4 knucks. 4 knucks Malux. Where's Mary Malarkey? Get her in here. 4 knucks Malux, dude. We've changed it. She's no longer no fucks Malux. She's now 4 knucks Malux. That's it. Done. Just like that.
We all got to learn to do that then, I guess.
Not to lessen, of course, the whirl, the swing, or the crouch, which together make
This man has beat the fucking shit out of 3 dudes in the street and walked away without any fucking marks. He fucking won that fight.
40 years of weather wall Pilates.
40 years with
A touch of gray. He used to sleep with her. I guarantee you he's banged out everyone at this news station. He banged out Jimmy Kimmel.
Make up 40 years of weather wall Pilates.
40 years.
He is Baby Billy. Like, this man is Baby Billy, dude. He's out here. He's like, I just need $2 million and some cocaine. That is this weatherman. Dylan used to party with him at Warped Tour. That's how crazy you. Dallas Raines. Take one look at him. You'll recognize him. Come here. Yeah, you did. You used to.
Years with KABC. Dallas Raines, you are a legend.
Dallas Raines? 40 years? Who does that?
I'll tell you who does that. A guy who's actually become one with the weather.
You are Los Angeles weather. You're mostly sunny and sometimes a little windy.
I've confirmed it. He bought all his drugs off this guy. He looks like Maury Povich, dude. Dallas Raines will tell you who the father is.
Too windy.
Oh, it's coming all the way to the ground.
Dallas all too eager to chase a tornado and equally eager to run from.
Nikki Jabiz, you are going to be so into Dallas Raines. You know what? Skip all the beginning and get to now. You'll be happy that you did.
What?
Oh, we gotta go.
Another reason he's lasted 4 decades here in LA. Also able to shift from a West Coast forecast to a West Coast offense.
Go. There it is, a smooth turn. There's the pitch. Yes.
You are really just a ray of sunshine and a big bright spot in my life. Let the clouds move, the sunshine, and bring the joy that you always deserve. Mwah.
Unique, incredibly talented, knowledgeable, amazing guy that he is. And one of one.
And one, the big one, seems to like as well.
Dallas, I want to congratulate you on achieving your 40-year milestone with the company. As someone who's been with the company for 50 years this year, it means that you've worked with me for 40 of the 40 years that you've been around. Well, minus 11 months. Anyway, congratulations
Lola Johnson
on your 40th anniversary. And thanks for all that you do for KABC Eyewitness News and for the city of Los Angeles.
Isn't that great?
Obviously, our friends in the newsroom have joined us here in the set. This is coveted right here. Not many people, only the very elite get this trophy.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Hold on. Dallas Reigns, all that fanfare so he could get, wait, Bob DeBartolabin? Where have I heard DeBartolabin before? DeBartolabin? Where do I know that name? Was there a missing woman named like Vicky DeBartolabin? Hold on a second. I think there was a missing person or a murderer. Hold on. Is it the Coast Guard? Thailand? Hold on.
Also, I changed my answer to Mr. Peppermint.
Wait, he's a serial killer. Oh, Mr. Peppermint. I'll show them Mr. Peppermint. He was the Dallas guy. Mike DeBartolabin was a suspected serial killer linked to several disappearances and murders of women. He died in prison in 2011. That's crazy. Huh.
And if you show Mr. Peppermint, make sure to tell him.
Okay, I'll tell him.
What?
That Mr. Peppermint's your guy, that you hung out with him or what?
Oh, I met him when I was.
You met him when you were a kid, yeah.
His son is the singer of the Butthole.
Yeah, his dad is a singer of the Butthole Surfers. That's right. That's him, his son. So this is Mr. Peppermint. He was the guy in Dallas. This is when he cooks Henrietta Cluck's newborn baby chick. Now, Texas humor is a little different. Okay. And yeah, the guy that was basically Mr. Rogers for North Texas. There were, let's just say it's different. It hits different up there. But this is, so Dylan got to meet, Des' boyfriend got to meet Mr. Peppermint. Mr. Peppermint's son is in the Butthole Surfers. Huh?
He was at the Ringling Brothers.
Yeah, he was at the Ringling Brothers Surface. So this is the dad of one of the Butthole Surfers. And literally the title of it, he had a place called Peppermint Place. It was like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. But Mr. Peppermint had funny titles for his episodes. This one was Mr. Peppermint Cooks Henrietta Cluck's newborn baby chick. So that's fun. That's what Des' boyfriend grew up enjoying. Sadistic fuck.
Made a joke about cooking a baby.
Yeah. You didn't notice that all the episodes are weirdly titled? They have a dark humor.
No, I don't even remember him having a show. I thought he was the newscaster.
Dylan, what? Yeah. He thought he was the newscaster. He's like, I don't even remember him having a show. I thought he was our newscaster. Yeah, dude.
He was a newscaster.
He was. I told you this before. He was like Mr. Rogers.
No.
Oh, fuck. Well, he went on, I guess, to be a newscaster. Yeah, he was like a news guest though. It was like he was commentating on the news, babe. He wasn't the newscaster. They'd bring him on like how they brought Commander KO on KABB. She'd come on and it was like, oh my God, this bitch is on. She's like, we're her bitch. She was like our Selena. And then she'd come on and she'd be like, don't do drugs. Check this out. I interviewed Jonathan Taylor Thomas and he said, fuck you if you do drugs. And we're like, I love JTT. This is Mr. Peppermint.
Well, maybe she can. But try, Henrietta, please. She tried, Mr. Peppermint.
Yeah, I think she's trying.
Try, Henrietta. Give us a good, delicious egg. Has it happened yet, Mr. Peppermint?
No. Did you need anything, Henrietta? What?
I think she's asking for your hat, Mr. Peppermint. I know what she wants, a nest.
Oh, my goodness.
She wants to use your hat for a nest.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll tell you what, Henrietta. Now, you get right there.
You go. There she goes.
Now.
Did you just fucking say Shusha to me? Did you just fucking say Shusha to me? Bitch, I brought up Shusha. No one knew what I was talking about, I think. They thought I was having a stroke. Yes. Yes, I loved Shusha. Do you remember when there was, I'm having a moment. Do you remember when it was going around town? Like, remember when everybody said Alanis had to get her stomach pumped because she Dave Coulier in a theater. Like there were like these urban legends. Do you remember everybody said Shusha got her throat slit by her husband? And that's why she always wore collared shirts. And they were like, and then if you were like, but she's not wearing a high collar in this one, they'd be like, yeah, but that's just makeup. Like it was a whole thing. So it turns out she does have a dark past. And also, my friend Daniel, who made Daniel's murder map, remember that? He saw her in traffic and her license plate is Shusha. Oh, what was Shusha? Oh, you're about to find out what the fuck Shusha is. You're about to find out what the fuck Shusha is. Please hold. Please hold.
Are you comfortable? All right.
I bet that works.
Okay. Come on. Well, I'll tell you what. Henrietta's famous recipe. Gonna. Yes. I feel it. A warm egg. Wow.
Just scared it out
Henrietta,
of
look.
But...
It happened. Yeah. Congratulations,
Gosh,
Henrietta.
thanks, Henrietta.
So, Muffin, why don't you go get the rest of the recipe?
Okay, just talking about that SNAKE, did it, Mr. President?
Well, Henrietta, thank you very much. I think it'll be a delicious egg. Meanwhile, in just a moment, we'll meet that snake. Gorilla.
We have everything ready, Mr. President.
Okay. Now, I have some traveling to do. So while you two put the recipe together, we're going to have a visit with Professor Vapor Trails, and then I'm going to visit a neat physics exhibit.
Good. Okay, right here.
I bet you don't know what kind of horses mouse cowboys ride. Mustangs, of course.
All right, Henrietta and Muffin, this is how you make your Henrietta egg in the nest. You cut a hole out of the bread. You put that piece of bread in your skillet. You crack the egg, and you pour the egg in the hole, and you let it cook. And there is your egg in the nest.
Boy, that looks delicious, Mr. President.
Muffin, while it cooks, why don't you give our viewers the recipe?
Okay, now listen to this. What you need is slice of bread, small glass to cut hole in the bread, 1 egg from Henrietta Cluck, preferably, 1 skillet, and 1 spatula. And, of course, some butter to put in the skillet, right, Mr. President? That's it.
That's it. Okay, there she goes.
No, everyone, this isn't a fever dream. And yes, this adult man is taunting this puppet and eating its child. And yeah, this is Dylan's newscaster growing up. A toad in a hole. What the fuck? Okay. Okay, you've seen enough. You've seen enough of yep, you've seen enough of that. You've seen enough of Mr. Peppermint feeding the womb of this mother to the mother. Now it's time for something more fucked up. Well, what could be more fucked up than that? Shusha. Shusha's still around. Shusha has her own YouTube channel. Shusha will probably copyright strike me, and I don't care. Yes, most of it was in Espanol because I believe she is Brazilian or Argentinian. Argentinian. This is Shusha in her heyday. This is what you watched when Full House was done, when there was nothing else. And yeah, she's in Hollywood right now, and her vanity plate says Shusha, and she's a big fucking deal, and she still performs to this day. She speaks more languages than most people. I think she speaks like 14 languages. Her whole gimmick was all the kids from around the world. I'm going to dress like Paris Hilton having a seizure, and you're going to dance around me, and we're just going to have a big time like it's gay pride. and there's going to be people dressed like they're in a Katy Perry music video, and there's going to be balloons, and it's going to be fun. And you're not going to understand a fucking word I'm saying, but the world's going to come together because I'm fucking Shusha. And everybody went, okay. And I loved it. And we're going to end on this because there is no better thing to end on. She's better than Charo. Do you understand? She ran so Charo can tactically roll behind her. Okay? Shusha, ladies and gentlemen.
¡Vamos, vamos! ¡Más! ¡Más fuerte!